right, everybody, welcome back to Surviving Mars. This is the 535% difficulty playthrough, and we're gonna go with attempt number 3 this time. I've got new ideas, and I'll share them with you as we go. First, same thing, we wanna start on the low ground. So let's take our probes, scan our low ground, and let's get started. First thing, actually, what I should do is get research going. What do we even have? We have... Yuck. Well, I mean, this is okay. Polymer factory research pretty quick is good. We're gonna take that one for sure. That's gonna get us the extra money, which will really help me in my plans that I have today. Then we're gonna grab this one and then, you know, actually, let's grab this one first. This isn't a bad place. It's right next to that. Ooh, it's right next to that thing too. I kind of like that because we already know what that is. The maps are not randomly generated now. They're not. There's about 10,000 different map seeds, depending on all the different locations you can land on Mars are a whole bunch of different map seeds. But if you take the same seed, aka the same coordinates, your resources will all be in the same locations, and they'll all be largely similar. The anomalies that you discover will mostly be in the same locations as well, but the anomalies themselves will change. So there is some randomization in what you're going to discover, but the resources themselves are not random. So that being said, we're going to probably land here, knowing that that eyeball is 30 rare metals, because it always has been 30 rare metals, and it's likely not going to change from being 30 rare metals. All right, let's pause the game. Explorer. Should I go after this one first? We already know what that is, and we can't load it yet. I'd be kind of interested to see what this is, in case we're wasting our time with research times. Then also, let's go exploration on these sectors here. This is where we're gonna end up starting our colony. It is probably an okay idea to come up here, though. I've been toying around with the idea of coming up here instead. I still think this is probably the strongest point, and especially with the new method I'm gonna try here. We're changing up our game a little bit here to make this happen, so. All right, as that's gonna go, I wanna get concrete started. So let's get concrete. That's not what I wanted to do. I want to do that. I want to get concrete started. So let's grab concrete extractor. Last 2 times, we've made a tunnel up to the high ground, and we're still going to do the same thing because tunnel life is OP. So we're still going to do that, but I'm going to set it up a little bit differently. I've made some changes to the cargo that we're starting with, okay? The first change is I've actually brought less drones. And that sounds weird. It sounds a little backwards, like you're not supposed to do that, but I've brought less drones. What that did is it opened up cargo capacity for me to bring a second Stirling generator. So now I've got only 5 extra drones being brought, but I've got 2 Stirling generators to start. And this is important because I can get a whole bunch of concrete over and over and over again the entire time without having to budget which one's on and off because the Stirling generator only does 10 power. This way, I can have both Stirling generators closed the entire time and power our entire fuel and concrete operation without any power loss, and therefore saving time, because with this map, time is your enemy. So, I think I also want to put a sensor tower in, but I want to do it on the high ground. I don't want to spend the resources, especially that electronics. I don't want to spend that in the low ground. So I'm going to wait. We're going to tough out our scanning, but eventually once we get because we're not going to be able to use any of this anyway. We don't need it scanned right away anyway. And when we get the sensor tower up here, we'll get it scanned a lot faster. So that's what we're going to do. So concrete's going to go here. I want to plan out my water extractor to be about here. Gives it just inside to where this. Now this thing throws dust in this radius, so we want all of our stuff that's gonna get hit to not be in this radius, including our Stirling generator. Even though the generator is gonna be closed, if we ever have to open it up, then it gets hit by the dust. So I want it to be outside that. So one thing I could do is place my rover right about where I want my generator, just to mark that tile. Then I'm gonna take and put in one of our Stirling generators. I'm gonna put it like right here, I think. Yeah, right here. And we're gonna run a power cable from there out to here. Here's where things change just a little bit. I'm gonna take this power cable and I'm gonna run it that way eventually. For now, I'm gonna run it to here. And we're gonna pop a second generator here to make sure it's out of range, and it is. We're gonna pop a second generator here. Let's make sure it's out of range. I wanna be super sure. So we're gonna do that. Now this is going to be low priority because we don't have concrete yet. So they're going to build these two things first. And we're building them too, but we're building them far apart. What I'm going to end up doing is that this cable is going to attach to the tunnel and go up top. But we're going to put a switch right here in the middle. If we ever have to cut power to the lower part, but we want it to stay running, we can cut power to only one of them. So this one can continue to help our regular base, while this one here facilitates all the power down here. We also want to time our builds a little bit better. I keep building things too early. They require maintenance before they're even useful. I don't want that. I'm going to time my builds. I want to try it as best I can, and I probably will forget this as we go, but I want to time my builds the best as possible to where the building isn't built until it's useful. That's what I want to go for. So now that we have two of these, we're getting 20
Anomaly
power
analyzed.
for free.
Milestone achieved.
There's more to the barren and...
Okay, pause this. What do we have? Decommission protocol is nice. This is going to be nice. Nothing that helps our research. This is going to be slow as shit. Come on, man. You couldn't even give me the one where it's like your explorers give you 100 research. Okay, I think this is still a good start, but I was kind of hoping for more research, guys. That's bad. That's bad. Lucky again with the water and concrete. Yeah, it's not luck. Yeah, you got that. You got that. Yeah, it's not luck. It's the resources are never randomized. So if you guys take the same map seed as I do, you'll have the same resources. Which, generally speaking, and I have seen one other person try to do this difficulty now. I've seen that, and they started over here in this map square right here. This is the same one. So they started here. They had abundance of concrete, water right there. They had metal supply, and then they expanded this way with the rare metals. There was another one that did it on Twitch, and I believe he started over here. And he was playing, I don't remember who it was, but he was playing over here. And over here in this spot, there's 2 metal deposits, one rare metal deposit.
Useful material in the debris from a small meteorite.
Yeah, we already know that that's going to be rare metals. There's 2 metal deposits, a rare metal deposit, and water, and a really high concentration of concrete. So very ideal starting spot over here. But like I said, we want to start on the low ground, so that's what we're doing. Okay, so now this is up. We got concrete going. We're going to need places to store it. The tunnel is probably going to be over here. So I'm going to put all my storage depots as close to where that's going to be as possible. It's the first landing is here, just because it's the closest to this. I don't want my drones wasting their time on this. I'd rather they be off doing other things. And because I have one less drone now, it's just a little less productivity. But by bringing one less drone, it opened up enough space in the rocket to give me a second Stirling generator. I spent 800 million on this power, guys. So money-wise, we're only at 1.3 billion left. We don't have a whole lot of money left, but I think it's probably pretty worth it. Okay, so now that we have this stuff set up, it's time to get fuel going. Because this thing's already set up, and I didn't want it set up yet, but it is. We're gonna go like this. I kind of wanted it on this side because the rocket's eventually gonna land over here. Then just let the drones do their work. This is the part where we wait and just watch the drones do their work. But eventually, once they build all these things, yeah, they'll start doing their business. We'll be in good shape. And everything can be on all at once. We don't have to wait for any of it. It's a great reality to be in. Hey, X-Raptor, what skins for the robots are there? So the only skins I'm aware of are skins like this drone, for example. You do something like this, and you can like trick them out to where they're different colors. So drones that are being commanded by one certain craft will be colored differently than the other ones. So if I wanted to make the red ones, for example, I can make them blue or white. So you can make them different colors, and that kind of gives you an idea of, maybe you have one drone hub with your RC rover, and you want the RC rover ones to always be a certain color. You could do that, like right here. So if I turn this one a different color, like say I want that to be red. Now all the ones that are controlled by the RC rover would be red, and the ones that are controlled by the rocket are not. So that lets me visually see it. I've never bothered with that really because It's just never really mattered to me, but that's one thing you can do. The actual rover vehicles themselves have no skins for now, but if you, I will have skins once the game launches because of the invitation code that I had before. We're gonna put the dome right here. Same plan for the dome. I have no difference in plans for the dome. I think it's a good plan. I think it's a good position for this dome. But we're gonna rearrange how we do our resources. I wanna try and see, and this might be stupid, but I wanna try and see if there's a way to make heaters work. If there's really a way to make heaters a good decision. Because so far, there's been no situation where a heater is a good idea ever. So I wanna see if there's a way to do it, to where it's actually an economical decision. But I think with our power management the way it's gonna be, right? Because these, if we keep our power on polymers, I think we could be successful because we can make polymers just from water. The only challenge is gonna be keeping enough water. But with 2 of these running and never deteriorating, just sitting here for free, all of these things can run full time, which means 100% of their energy. Do I have another fuel depot? If I brought 2 fuel refineries, I could make fuel twice as quickly, use less machine parts on this, and pump all the water out faster. I don't think it's worth it. Never mind. I like the format of 1 episode per stream for failures. Okay, Katie Cat. I might be able to make that work. I already did 1 episode. So the second episode could be a failure. If I ever have time to edit it. Like, freaking no time this week. We'll see. I only have time for streams this week. I don't really have a whole lot of times for anything else this week. You need a water tank? Nope. Pap Top, don't need a water tank. Not right now, we don't. Water tank is a disadvantage in the early game. 2 reasons why. 1, it freezes in cold, so it's useless in the cold anyway. But 2 is that this water extractor here, which doesn't stop in the cold, will only produce the water that's demanded. It's not producing at 100% all the time. It's only going to produce what it needs. So we only need it for fuel. So as long as this is running the whole time and this is running the whole time, which they are, we're the most economical we can possibly be. If I add a tank, all I'm doing is causing this to pump water out faster to fill the tank, and then it's going to be the same anyway. And then the water will freeze. It'll probably never get used because this is running all the time anyway. Plus, then we have metals maintenance, and we have to keep maintaining that tank with metals. I'd rather not do that. So, I got a lot of thought in this. We got a lot of early game starts here. I got a lot of thought in the beginning of this game. I think this right here, this setup, I don't like how long the cabling is, but I've put it in a position the way it is because of where I'm gonna put my tunnel. It's the only reason I've done it the way I've done it. And actually, now I'm thinking I might actually put the tunnel here, just because it's closer to this. And then keep landing rockets over here. As long as the rocket's not gonna kick up dust. It's very vague. I don't know how close a rocket can be, or how far away a rocket can be from something before it stops infecting things with dust when it lifts off and lands. Like, I wanna say that this is far enough away, but I don't know that. So it'd be interesting to see how the maintenance cycle on this works as this lifts off. Because I'd kinda like to see how that's gonna work that way. I'm really interested in that kind of stuff. I'm really interested in how far away can that rocket be before it stops affecting other things. Little stuff like that, it can really, like if you have that kind of education on it, you can really, I don't want to say min-max, but you can make better decisions. I really like that a lot. Chicken Attack, thanks for claiming that giver, man. That's very generous of you. If you guys aren't familiar, as you watch my stream, for every minute you watch my streams, you're earning 1 point. You can use points to interact with in a variety of different ways, although not so much with Surviving Mars as a game, but other games and stuff you can interact pretty well. And what Chicken Attack just did is he spent 600 of his points. That's 600 minutes of watching me. He spent 600 of his points to give all of you 25. So all of you now have 25 more points. Thank you, ROL, for making that happen, man. I'm gonna keep scanning all of this. I wanna get all the anomalies up here as fast as possible. But when we get up here, the moment we get up here with our tunnel, I'm gonna take and build a sensor tower over this direction just to give us a boost. As much of a boost as we can get. I might actually put it over here, even though there's a risk of being on top of materials. I'm gonna put it over here just so I can get all this scanned faster. So I'm gonna focus this scanning over here for now, and then I'll focus this scanning once we're like doing it, whatever we're doing. Once we're up there, I mean. So because all of this runs the most efficient possible, right? Because all of this is running constantly, we're able to get the fuel into the rocket faster. Even during dust storms, cold waves, doesn't matter. We're going to be able to do it. I think overall, there's going to be a positive to this, and that is that we don't have to ship polymers to build our first dome. We'll have enough polymers to build the first dome. We're going to have to ship polymers anyway, but that's only for the apartment, which kind of need to research that pretty quick because I want my first dome to have apartments. So I need that to happen. But we can't build our tunnel until we have the rocket liftoff because there's no way to get enough machine parts for that. If you turn off water extractor shifts, there is no shifts for the water extractor. It's an unmanned thing. It's an unmanned, and there's no people. The water extractor only extracts what's needed. It's always 100% of the need, not 100% of its capacity. So regardless of whether I turn it off or turn it on, like if I turn it off, all I'm gonna have is a lull where I'm not making any fuel. It makes no sense to turn it off. But it always needs 5 power, correct. It needs 5 power to operate, but it doesn't always pump. And you can see how it's doing it. There's even a little attention marker there. It says not producing due to lack of demand. Can produce 2 more if needed. So if I, for example, drop this, I drop another fuel refinery down. Fuel refinery requires 1 water. If I drop another fuel refinery down, this will start producing 2, automatic. I don't have to do anything, and it takes the same amount of power. So technically speaking, the water extractor right now is inefficient for its production versus the power consumption. It's only producing 1/3 of its capacity, but it's using 100% of its power draw. So it's inefficient. However, because I've got the Stirling generators and it's free power just sitting here, I don't care how much it is. As long as it's on and working, I'm fine because my power is not, my power draw doesn't matter, right? Because I have free power with these as long as they're closed. That's the plan. And my hope here is that if we get enough of these built up,
dust storm approaching.
One, while they're closed, I don't know if this is true, so I actually want to test this as well. While they're closed, I don't think they can be affected by the dust devils. Remember in the last play, the last attempt, we had like 12 wind turbines lined up, which 12 wind turbines, by the way, is only 4 of these opened up, right? Give or take, because we're not going to get any elevation bonus from these, which is another cool thing, is that I can leave these here, and it doesn't matter if I drop both of them on the low ground, they're going to use the same amount of power and give me the same amount of power anyway. So they can be on the low ground just fine, which opens up real estate for us to be up here. So as long as we are making polymers, we can continuously monitor these and continue to manage them. And polymers are pretty easy to make. You guys saw, we got up on polymers pretty quick. So I'm thinking Stirling generators are our answer here. And it sounds weird because they're super expensive, but I think that's our answer. The moment we can manufacture these, it's gonna be nice. But for now, I think instead of spending $720 million on 50 machine parts that will last me a week, I'll spend $800 million on 2 Stirling generators that will last me indefinitely. And eventually, you do that enough, and your power problems are solved. I think that's what I think that's what I'm looking at here. I don't know that, so we're gonna have to budget money a little bit differently this playthrough. But I think that's kind of where I'm going here with this. Watching all the way here in Australia, cool, man. That's awesome. That's the thing. Like, I have an afternoon stream schedule. Tuesdays and Wednesdays is at 12 o'clock in the afternoon for me, which is good for you guys that are over there, and it's good for your time zone. And then Thursday and Friday and Saturday is our nighttime streams. Those are starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. And so those are typically, like the tail end of those are usually pretty good because you can wake up in the morning and catch it. But primarily that's for my US-based, Western hemisphere, if you will, people. So I kind of have an audience from all over the world, and so I try to cater that as best as I can and kind of split it up. The pros and cons to splitting it up, of course, is that you always have half the viewers that you should, because only half of the people who follow you can actually make your stream at any given time. So there's downsides to that, but I like the diversity that it brings. Cool, new faces and new people all the time to catch up with. I like it.
Vehicle battery low.
If we ever need to segregate this in some way for any reason, if we ever need to do that and separate this from the rest of the base as far as power draw goes, we can now do that, but we still get the assistance of this one, just not this one, because this is connected right here. So that helps a lot. We can divide these up if we ever have to. And this doesn't require maintenance. It's just a power switch that never needs maintained, which is kind of nice. Watching Mass Effect Andromeda on YouTube, Charlie. Long playlist. Yeah, that was a... I think that... Oh, hang on. I think the thing is done. Yes, the rocket is full. Lift off. Fly. Magnificent.
Milestone achieved.
Magnificent rocket. Fly. Okay. We're going to bring a whole bunch of machine parts. How many attempts have you done till now? This is attempt number 3. This is attempt number 3. If you're coming from YouTube, welcome. This is my Twitch. I know you guys are familiar with me on YouTube. That's great. I'm trying to move to Twitch. And by trying, I mean for the last 3/4 of a year. Trying to get you guys to come to Twitch because I think this place is wonderful. I'm having so much more fun here than I was on YouTube. And I'm not going to quit YouTube, of course. I'm trying to integrate. My plan is to try and find a way to integrate a content strategy that incorporates both Twitch and YouTube together in some way. With the central component of my content strategy being Twitch, but I don't know. I just love it here so much. It's just been such a different culture. So if you guys are coming from YouTube and you're not familiar with Twitch or you haven't been in Twitch before, like big warm welcome to you, man. Come on in. Place is awesome. Polymer factory. Yeah, we'll have a polymer factory. It'll be one of the first things we get. It'll be one of the first places people work. They're going to work in the rare metals and the polymer factory. That'll be the 2 first things we do. And at that point, my hope is we'll never have to pay. Yeah, at that point, we will never have to pay to maintain power again. Power will be maintained by resource management on the planet, as opposed to us paying hundreds of millions of dollars to ship machine parts. We're still going to have to ship machine parts. That's still going to have to happen. But we'll go through the supply of them a lot slower. This is what I wanted right here. Explorer AI increases our research. Now we just need the one in the social tree that gives us more from our sponsor. We'll be in good shape. Explorator is inactive. Yes, of course it is. There's nothing to explore. We're starting on the low ground. We want this to be the hardest possible play. So we start on the low ground. We never start on the high ground. That gives us an advantage. It decreases the difficulty. We want it to be the same. So we start on the low ground. Once we get to the high ground with a tunnel, then we can explore. But until then, there's nothing left to explore. Hey, Chippy Dip. Aren't apartments like 12 power versus 1 power for regular houses? Is it really worth rushing and spending the extra power so early? That's a good point. The only defense to it I would say is that the more people I have, the more people that can work the extractors. If I have more people, I can make more resources, export faster, and the faster I can export, the less maintenance I'll have. As long as I have renewable energy, hey, renewable energy is kind of a weird thing here. If it's 12 power for an apartment, that'd be 0.5 power per person. A person's productivity, I think it might be still worth it, to be honest. I think it might be still worth it, just because I can get more people in an apartment. If I can fit 48 people in a dome, it's better than fitting 24 in a dome. 48 people in a dome can work 2 shifts at 2 extractors, plus the factory 2 shifts, which will produce me enough polymers to be able to maintain 10 Stirling generators while opened. So if I have that many people, and I have enough Stirling generators to offset, I think I would have enough Stirling generators to offset it. If you think about it, if it's 12 electricity for an apartment, as long as I have enough people extra in that apartment to satisfy the maintenance requirements of one additional Stirling generator, then it's paying for itself. Because that one additional generator will generate 20 power. So I think it's probably still worth it. But my research tree does dictate what we do, right? If I don't have the research, like I don't have apartments. Like if I don't have the apartments in my research, I can't do it. Which is kind of a bummer. Because these are somewhat randomized. So if I can't make the apartments, then yeah, we'll probably have to do 2 domes. I don't mind doing 2 domes. Really, the only difference in maintenance between 2 domes is an additional concrete plus the maintenance on the additional buildings, which, aside from the apartments, we would have the maintenance on those buildings anyway. Charles, so excited for success this time. I am. I have more confidence in this one than I do before, but this is kind of an experimental power strategy because it's really expensive, right? We have to buy the Stirling generators, and those are not cheap. But the idea is, my upfront cost is for power that never needs maintenance, as opposed to huge costs in the maintenance of materials to maintain the cheaper power. So it's like a balance, and I think if I'm thinking about it economically, I'm thinking like, we're usually fine at this stage. We're usually fine until we start getting people and working factories and whatever. But eventually that war of attrition, the map starts wearing us down and requiring more materials and more machine parts than we can handle. And I'm hoping to mitigate that by having this power source that doesn't need the ongoing maintenance in the future. Spend more up front for less in later is what I'm hoping for. We'll see. It's all an experiment. If I really wanted to pass this and get a high score, I would just start over here. Because that's where the game wanted me to start anyway. Just start over here where all the stuff is, Charlie. I know. And it's probably what any other player who wants to succeed probably should do that. What games are you looking forward to this year? Some of the games I'm looking forward to this year, I'm not sure I'm going to have time to play. I want Sea of Thieves. It was free last weekend. This past weekend here, it was free and beta. Never got a chance to touch it because I can't play on the weekends. I can't play games on the weekends very much. Aside from my Saturday that I have scheduled, pre-scheduled, I can't really play on the weekends. Red Dead Redemption 2 seems amazing. I'm always a sucker for a good story. But like right now, I'm kind of tied up on my other projects. Right now, I've got... I need to put more time into Kerbal, guys. I need to put more time into Kerbal. I've got 101 episodes. Episode 102 has taken like a month already, and it's not because it takes that long to make it. It's because I keep putting it off for other titles. Keep putting it off for streaming instead. I need to do that. So I haven't really been looking a whole lot. Haven't really been looking a whole lot at other games. One that's more relevant to streaming and game and making videos is Frostpunk. Looking forward to Frostpunk as well. That's right in the genre that I need. Are we? Oh, it's because it's just taking forever because I don't have enough drones. I thought having a lower drone count would hurt me.
Cold wave approaching.
We'll see how much it really hurts. But as soon as they build this, we can get up there and get that research. Get cranking on that research faster. This needs to happen as soon as possible. It is built, right? Wait, it is built, right? Yeah, it is. Okay. Come over to this first. I know your battery's gonna drain faster in the cold, and it is what it is, but I need that fast. As soon as I get this, the sooner my research goes even faster. This will help. Oxygen production increased by 50%. That'll help. Decommission protocol. I want to make the heaters work, but God, I just don't believe in them right now. Don't believe in them. It's just too expensive. They need nerfed or buffed, I guess. They need balanced because they're way too much power resources for it.
Breakthrough discovered.
Multi-spiral architecture. Really? You gave me a useless one? Gave me a useless one, guys. RNG is not favoring me today. RNG doesn't like me today. If you can get to recharge your battery, great, but I don't think you can. So, transport truck. Where are you? Go through the tunnel. You're gonna have to go save the Explorer. It's not gonna make it. How far are you going? There you go. Go charge the battery. Can't wait for the mods that add overpowered domes. Yeah, like the Yogscast. The Yogscast, they have a mod already that they debuted. It's a large dome that requires no water or oxygen. Like, oh, okay. So everything inside the dome requires no water or oxygen. That's great. It's good stuff. Well done. Not overpowered at all. I'm gonna put this right here. Maybe a little further. Maybe just a little bit further. I am worried about the dust storms and stuff hitting it, because there's a lot of storms around here. But if I put this here, maybe it'll be all right. So in order to put that there, I need to have... Now we have futurists, right? One of the perks of our commander is that those don't require electricity or maintenance. So if I grab one electronic and we grab one metal, that would be 2 metals, but it's fine. Then we go through the door. Then I take my rover and we go through the door as well.
Breakthrough discovered.
Take the rover over here. Hang on. Extractor AI. Holy shit! This is amazing. This is the best possible thing for us, guys. This is the best possible breakthrough in the world right here. Now they're always on, no matter what. We don't need to staff our extractors anymore. That's so good. We don't even need people now. Exactly. That's what you guys are saying. That's what you guys are saying right now. We don't even need people anymore, Charlie. I know. Isn't it great? Who needs people on Mars? Who needs that? We can get our tunnels. This is the one, guys. This is the one. And all the people who saw my YouTube video when it first came out, when I introduced people to 535, all the people that saw that video, you guys remember me saying, you know, breakthroughs are rare and they don't really help you that much. They probably just won me the game. That's like, oh, we need metals? Cool. We'll just, you know, put a tunnel here and then metal extractor. Bam, bam. Now we always have metals. We still need the drones and the drone hubs and all that stuff. So, but like, come on, that's amazing. No domes even needed. You need scientists. Yeah, that's a good thing too. Actually, we can have our domes. We can have our dome really put in place for science, which would help us a lot. Yeah, that's gonna be good. And engineers. We need engineers as well. We have to make the polymers. But like, geologists are kind of like, they'll help, right? The extractors will only work at 50% efficiency, but we can have 2 of them now. As long as we have the power, we can run 2 of them, and they'll work all 3 shifts. That's pretty powerful. And we'll have more power because we don't need the dome anymore. It's not yet, we don't. I think we can actually delay the dome a little bit. Well, hang on. Now, we still need the research, but I want the crowdfunding first. So I'm gonna do the crowdfunding. Once the crowdfunding is done, then we'll get this. Because I like the picture for it too. Look at the picture. It's just, it's a geologist just kicking back and relaxing. Eating those words. Yeah. All right, fine. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you are, because this is all being recorded for YouTube, if you guys didn't know. If you're watching this later and you're like, ha, you said they wouldn't do anything. Fine. Breakthroughs are pretty cool. I'll stand corrected. Breakthroughs are pretty cool. I always knew they were cool, but they're just usually so rare that they just don't really have any huge, meaningful impact on your decisions. And we're not done yet, Explorer. You got more research to do. We got 2 more, 3 more up here. So get to work, man. Also, we have a supply of metal. Ooh, look at this. Metal here. Okay. A little bit more metals up this way, too. This is it, guys. This is the time. Sensor tower is up. Cool. And now we have, wait, you come over here and grab this. It's a random metal just sitting over here. In fact, I think I'm actually gonna have you scrounge some metals from over here while you're here. You, however, need to come back over here. So, bye-bye. Okay, so all these regions should be scanned much faster now once we get to it. There's a 400% bonus to scanning that region. Yes, all of these have bonuses now. Very cool. We should be able to wipe through these really quickly. As soon as we get this one, because I want to see if there's metals down there.
Breakthrough discovered.
Breakthrough discovered. Advanced drone drive. Drones move 50% faster. Okay. God. What if we got a breakthrough, or what if we got some sort of tech that makes our drone hubs for free? We have automation for drone hubs and for extractors. That would just be... If we don't succeed with that, then we just don't succeed ever. This is not gonna happen. Mars crowdfunding. Oh, right. That's the $1 billion we had. We just got ourselves a small loan of $1 billion. It's great. So if I don't even need passengers. I don't need them, right? Not yet. I mean, I could have the extractors running before the passengers arrive, right? That's totally a thing. Yeah. It just requires machine parts to manage. But we should be able to pay for that, just no problem, I would think. Too far from domes. Oh, we have to have a dome in order to place this, though. Actually, wait. No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. We need to research this first. That's why. So this just became number 1. Yeah, that's how that works. And then I think I might actually make this Number 2. We don't need the soil adaptation yet. The polymer factory would be nice though, but how did you click the extractor tech to one slot without removing the others? It's a control click. I just learned that last stream actually. If you hold control and click, it actually shows tooltips for this stuff. Like, I don't read tooltips, but there's actually a tooltip there. Come to find out, the game does tell you how to do it. But I just learned this last stream. I've got 75 hours in this game. I just learned this last stream. You can control and then left click and it'll just start research. So if I want the extractor AI to be number 1 right now, I just hold control and left click and it switches positions. It's pretty cool. Good vibrations, what is this? Domes restore sanity to their inhabitants every soul. I feel like the game I feel like I'm in love. I'm in love, I tell you. It's just like, just all these things. Just give me all the things. Yes. Good vibrations. This, not the right vehicle. Where's my Explorer? There you are. You have enough battery to get this. If you don't, I can always recharge you. It's fine. Eventually, you're gonna get to a point where you can't do anything anyway, so. Transport truck. Do you have... I'll just go get the metals from over here. I love how, like, every time I have a question of how something works, Katie Cat has, well, Quill did it this way. I don't watch Quill. I don't mind Quill. He's a great guy. I just don't have the time to watch anyone. It's not about Quill. I just haven't watched anyone's play yet. I kind of like that, though. Like, not watching other people play the game that I'm already playing. Inspiring architecture. Colonists in domes with a spire have increased morale. All right, so let me get this straight. Let me get this straight, game. If I read the game correctly here, what the game is telling me is I can have super big domes if I want to. My people who are living in the domes don't need to work in metal extractors. The domes themselves will restore sanity every soul. And if I have spires in my domes, they'll have increased morale. The game is just setting me up for success. If we don't pass, if attempt number 3 is not the successful attempt, then I'm just the loser.